Thank you all for making me feel so at home. As someone who comes from half a world away, I appreciate the warmth of your welcome. But I'm not surprised, because yours is a state that has the entire world within its borders, a state that treasures diversity because you live it every day. As an Arab and a Muslim, I am here today to share a message of cross-cultural understanding, and I am confident I have much to learn from you as well. Californians are proven champions of bridging cross-cultural divides. With no ethnic majority, more than 200 languages, and the daughter of such an iconic democratic family married to a superstar Republican governor, this state is clearly a fertile environment for cultivating common ground. In our time together, I would like to share a few stories from my life so far. And I hope that somewhere within my stories, you will hear something that sounds familiar. Because I'm convinced that we are all much more alike than we are different. That the experiences that shape us, no matter where we grow up, bring out the very same human responses of tears and laughter, fear and courage, uncertainty and enlightenment. My hope is that you will see part of yourself in me, just as I have seen myself reflected in other women's lives around the world. My first story takes place when I was 5 in nursery school in Kuwait. It involves a quintessential product of American popular culture. And while I cannot say I learned everything that I really need to know in kindergarten, I did, thanks to this cross-cultural exposure, have what Oprah would have called an aha moment. My mother used to send me to school every day with my lunch in a lunchbox. Maybe your mother did that too. Or maybe you are the mom getting up a little earlier than everyone else to pack up the fruit, cut off the crusts, and draw a smiley face on a note. I still remember how good it felt to open up my lunchbox each day. I always knew I would find a hummus sandwich, and the familiar, dependable texture and taste that made me feel so secure and loved. One day, I sat next to one of my friends and watched her open her lunchbox. But what was inside? Not a hummus sandwich, but peanut butter and jelly. And I thought, how revolting. Or in my 5-year-old lingo, ew, gross. I had never seen food so strange. In fact, I felt a real sense of pity for my friend, that she was stuck with some weird peanut paste instead of my mom's hummus. And then one day, my friend suggested I might like to try her sandwich. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I braced myself and took a small bite. Do you remember Scooby-Doo? How Scooby would literally float off the ground at the thought of a Scooby snack? Well, that was my reaction to peanut butter and jelly. I thought it was heavenly. And maybe you have had an experience like that too, where something you thought was foreign and strange revealed itself to be wonderful. Or when a judgment you had made on the basis of looks turned out to be totally wrong. Even a 5-year-old can grasp the importance of an open mind. Now, I do not want to over-dramatize the impact of peanut butter on my life, but so often today, in a world grown smaller, we are forced to confront new things, new people, new cultures, new ways of behavior that are different from what we are used to. And change can be scary. People often seek refuge by circling the wagons, clinging tightly to what they know and trying to all out what they do not. Yet, when we do that, we diminish ourselves. We deprive ourselves of life's richness. And at worst, we perpetuate ignorance that breeds prejudice and fear. I am afraid we are seeing that trend today in the tensions between East and West, with each side encumbered by stereotypes of what the other must be like. To hear some in the West, all Arab women are backward and oppressed, while some Arabs assume all American women are desperate housewives seeking sex in the city. And some caricatures are not nearly as easy to laugh off. Arabs and Muslims as terrorists, for example, and Americans as people whose ultimate aim is to suppress Islam. If we are to get beyond stereotypes like these, we will have to really get to know one another, to taste the proverbial peanut butter and hummus, instead of limiting ourselves to preconceptions. And we should view this as a wonderful opportunity, not as a terrible burden. Because the more we try to stand in one another's shoes and appreciate one another's perspective, the more dimension, depth, and texture we'll ultimately add to our own.